Hi everyone, this is Nibiru Watcher. It is April 18th, 2018, and I would like to apologize yesterday for taking down my video, or give you a reason why. It was because in that last video I had shown you something that happened actually in 2016, which was actually originally shown on the MB3 channel, showing this amazing object. So I would like to start this conversation with Dobbs' trajectory. In this, on his channel, he shows the timeline, and I agree with him. Notice in that first video showed it started in 2011. That's because I believe once this thing breaks the ecliptic plane of our solar system, it takes 7 years to complete it. Now, on this site, he has a series of dates that are in a 200-day cycle. So these are 200 days apart. And then in this video, he shows the events that happen almost within 1, 2, 3, 4 days, or exactly on it. And some of them were the videos that I had even posted. Now, some of the dates that were shown here, starting from August 11th. Interesting. I want to focus on these dates here on this cycle, March 1st. Let's see some of the things that had happened near this time frame. So in this time frame, Mr. MB33 captured this video. This on March 4th, 3 days after the set date that Dave Dobbs had set. We see the rising white object with a huge, looks like a tail. I'm going to call it the dragon tail. In this video, I'm scrolling forward, and for time's sakes, I will have the original links in the description box below. This was on March 4th, and then this object just disappears. Okay, the sun, that is not the sun. And also in the video, he pans to the right, and we can see that that was actually not the sun. The sun doesn't just rise up and disappear and vaporize back, and leaving a massive trail all the way across the sky. You think that would start to look like some of the chemtrails, or what we think was a chemtrail? It was really just a giant plasma tail all the way across the sky. Then on March 14th, that same year, Mr. MB33 also had this similar object just a few days later. So 10 days later. Then on Mr. Seven Spaulding's channel, we captured this amazing object. This was on the 19th, 5 days after the last one you just saw. 5 days. I'm going to scroll forward, watch how this object gets redder and a little bigger in the sky, and eventually the whole sky gets dark. 20 minutes after sunset. Thank you, Seven Spaulding, for this fantastic footage. It's pretty compelling when the red dragon is showing it on the horizon. It looks just like, you could call it all kinds of things. But when it's in the middle of the clouds like this, that's ridiculous. Then on the 23rd, 4 days after that, this was captured. The location is unknown, but I do know it was March 23rd. So if we can play, the sound was turned off, but I will leave a link for this also in the description box below. So we pan to the right, we see the sun had it set, and off to the left, just like in the last two videos, the sun was on the left. I suspect this was probably south somewhere. If I ever find out where this was taken, I will let you know. And so, onto the timeline of the Dave Dobbs model. I'm going to show you something from Solar System Scope that 200 days out puts us in an interesting time frame. That puts us at September 17th. And we can see the alignment between the Earth and the Sun. And we are in the constellation of Neptune. I find that very interesting. That, let me show you what I believe the orbital path of the Planet X system, whether it's a 360-year or a 3,600-year orbit. Now, depending on where it came in on, if the Earth, I believe that the object comes in on the left side of the moon, coming up through Virgo, starting from the Orion constellation. So it swings up through here. We see it coming up. NASA even has pictures of the Virgo dragon coming up in the constellation Virgo. We'll get into that in a minute. As it heads up towards the top part of the sun, heading towards, we can see Draco up through here. Draco at this coming in at a 23-degree angle, and then leaves this entire solar system 7 years later in the Aquarius constellation, I believe, to be passing between Mars and Venus. Well, that's the same orbital path that the Earth takes. So, yeah. Let's get into some other interesting facts. So here we got Google Skyview.org. This isn't even Google Earth. We could see this planet. And where was it in our constellation? Let's look up Google Earth. We see it here, these same coordinates that you saw here. The same object. If we zoom out, we'll discover what constellation it was in. We shut all this off. So you can see we are on Google Sky in the Orion constellation. If I click on this image, you'll see the Orion constellation above the belt. We get this planet on the Orion constellation. Fascinating, because that is exactly what I saw, what made me a believer in Planet X on July 1st. So we can see this thing dropping down. Go watch my time-lapse video of this object. It's insane. Later on in this video, we see two massive objects pass in front of the moon. Some of you have already seen this video. And as I believe it passed through the Virgo constellation, we could see in the infrared telescope, the same one that spotted Planet X that sees in the infrared, this dragon image here, the same one that Dobbs 7 and others have captured before it was deleted in Google Sky in the Virgo constellation. Remember, to see this, you actually have to click the infrared. Not too hard to find. Just go to Google Sky, click on Virgo, click on microwave, click on infrared, and you will see it right there in the Virgo constellation where it first came up. Heads towards Draco, comes to the top, heads back down. Now I want to show you something else. That I had, interesting enough, this video came out a few years ago. It was called 231131121 get ready. Hey, if anybody can decode that, it seems like coordinates. But look at the timestamp here. What is this code at the very end of this message? It's very interesting. They show some interesting things. Is this one image here that this guy is doing. Let me slow this down a little bit. Sorry about that. So in this video, they play this creepy music, designated locations. Lest I get a copyright strike, I have to kind of speed through this a little bit. They have this one image in here, 911 events, all these historic disasters. One was blurred out. I find it interesting. May 2nd, snowed in, Oklahoma building. Let's check this one out. Run away, right? And then it goes Sector New York water. But the R is facing this way. Very odd, huh? Sector New York water. And then at the end, we look at this set of symbolism here. And we see this Aquarius constellation with the planet Earth with a plug upside down, like unplugged, EMP, you know, whatever your interpretation is. But I'll focus on this Aquarius constellation and this New York sector thing. Now on the back of a $100 bill, Jonathan Kleck figured this out. As we zoom in on a $100 bill, we can see that the water looks like it's heading towards us as the ink, the different pattern of the ink looks like the water's coming at you, and it matches perfectly with the day after tomorrow scene. It's perfect. It hauntingly perfect. New York underwater, and then we also see that in St. John the Divine Church, they added to this church that was originally built in the 1850s, was finished sculpting these sculptures in what year? 1997, the same year The Simpsons showed an episode. I want to show you, look at this. See these pillars, the Twin Towers, looks like a giant tsunami event. Again, show you even more in this bridge with more water, cars falling off. Looks like not a very happy day. Apocalypse. St. John the Divine, sculpted on these buildings in 1997. And then anybody who thinks that the Simpsons haven't been predicting everything, such the 911 event, 911 in 1997, Johnny Draco, this cartoon series coming soon, buildings burning. What are they implying here? In this Latino magazine showing the Twin Towers in 1983, very interesting, the SDI, Strategic Defense Initiative, the year Planet X was discovered, Dream Theater, another Twin Towers coming down, 1991, pair of rappers, Coop, watching the Twin Towers coming down. Hollywood knew about it. Beavis and Butthead, and a 1997 article, same year that building was discovered. Illuminati playing cards showing the pentagram, Twin Towers coming down. Again, in a cartoon, get Twin Towers, implying the Twin Towers. And a music magazine, Ray Harper, No One Ever Gets Out Alive. Interesting title here. Donald Trump being portrayed president 30 years before it even happened. The stock market crashing. A woman for a president. Yeah, we saw this scene played out in reality. Look at this. Simpsons. 1997 article, the cartoon, showing them underwater. Why so much about water? Well, go back to this. This is the constellation from Stellarium. I'm going to show that we just happen to have Neptune, the water planet, in front of the water constellation Aquarius. That the symbol is right out of that warning sign. Finally, interesting. Could this be the crossing point of Planet X? Just speculation. Something to consider, because it fits the Dave Dobbs 200-day model of September. And if we come back, so this planet has been coming up. We've got a nemesis star in a binary system, slow-moving sun, with planet X in a very high eccentric orbit, approaching the sun, swinging out and coming up underneath, and a 200-day orbit around Nemesis. It keeps coming around, but no one knows which year. But if you know the orbit, and we know it was 7 years, now I'm basing this on biblical time frame, but the alignment is pretty rare, pretty phenomenal. One more piece of evidence to show that this thing came in is that every year we celebrate, or we have, winter solstice. And guess where? On December 21st, right about here, were the pyramids of Egypt, and the ancient ones knew about it, that the earth is tipped the most during the wintertime when it is in front of the Orion constellation. So sorry about the mix-up and confusion, but I don't know how much time we got left. I'm not really trying to set dates. I'm just showing you orbital paths. So please copy, like, and share this video. See you at the Lord.